All right, boys and girls, today our story is The Great Gracie Chase. Stop That Dog by Cynthia Ryland, and the illustrator is Mark Teague. Gracie? Sounds like Grace's name. Once there was a little brown dog named Gracie Rose. She was a very good dog. She helped the bigger dog watch the house. She kept the kitty company. She even sang to the fish when it was lonely. You see, Gracie loved a quiet house. She loved the kitty sleeping on the windowsill, the big dog sleeping on the couch, the quiet fish going ploop, ploop. For Gracie, a quiet home was the best home. Gracie Rose was good every single day of her life, except for one. The day the painters came. So Gracie, that silly little dog who loved a quiet house, decided to do something naughty. She decided to take a walk all by herself. Someone had left the gate open, probably a busy painter. Gracie was supposed to be a good dog and never go through that gate by herself. But she did. And when she was halfway down the street, she heard someone say loudly, "Where's Gracie?" And that began the Great Gracie Chase. Because when the people in the house came outside to find her, and the painters came outside, and the neighbors came outside, and the garbage man stepped out of his truck, and the paperboy stopped his bike, and the delivery woman pulled over, and everyone said, "There's Gracie!" And Gracie started to run. Gracie did not know why she was running, except that suddenly everybody in the world was trying to catch her, and she did not want to be caught. So Gracie ran down the street, and everybody else ran down the street too. Gracie ran up the hill, and everybody else ran up the hill. Gracie ran across the schoolyard, and everybody else ran across the schoolyard. Gracie ran through the water fountain, and everybody else ran through the water fountain. Well, except the cat, because the cat did not like water fountains. Well, the chase got bigger. "Stop that dog!" everybody cried, which only made Gracie run faster. And soon the whole town was watching or running in the Great Gracie Chase. Poor little Gracie. She did not like this walk all by herself. It was too quick. It was too noisy. And all she wanted was to be beside her fish again. But she couldn't stop running now. Everyone wanted to catch her. So she ran, and she ran, and she ran, until pretty soon the painters had to stop because they couldn't catch their breath. The delivery woman had to stop because her feet hurt. The paperboy had to stop because his bike broke. And someone else had to stop because she tripped and fell. And one by one, all the people had to stop because they could not keep up with Gracie. And once again, Gracie had a quiet home. She was happy, that silly dog. Like that?
Yeah.
Like that dog. Why do you think it was called the Great Gracie Chase? Raise your hand if you can tell me why it was called the Great Gracie Chase. Alyssa? Wait. Listen. Say it again, Alyssa. Everybody was chasing Gracie because what had she done, Samantha? What had Gracie done?
She was running.
She was running. Why did she run, Cherie?
Because they were trying to catch her.
They were catching her, but why did she leave her house in the first place, Riley?
Why were they trying to chase her?
Well, because they wanted to catch her, because they didn't want her to get lost. But why did she leave in the first place, Luke?
The painters were there.
And they were very what? What were they? Very noisy. And what did Gracie like, Grace? What did Gracie like? She liked quiet houses. Okay, let's look up at our story map. And the first thing you have to tell me when we do a story map is the title. So raise your hand if you can tell me what the title of the book was that we just read. What's the title of the book? Raise your hand if you can tell me. Grace?
The Great Gracie Chase.
Okay. And part of it is Stop That Dog. Okay, so we're going to write it up here where it says title. The Great, and you know it's a title, so I have to start every word with a capital letter. The Great Gracie Chase, and part of the title is Stop That Dog. I love that title.
I don't.
Makes me, you don't like it? I like it. It made me want to read the book. Okay, next we have to tell who the author is, and then it might be hard for you to remember. Maybe Amanda, can you read the author's name? It's Cynthia Ryland, and I'm going to put her name right here under author. What does the author do again? What's the job of the author, Wade?
To draw a picture.
Well, that's the illustrator. What does the author do, Michael?
To write.
What does the author do? To write the what?
Words.
The words in the story. To write the story. Okay. All right. Cynthia Ryland was the person who wrote this book. Samantha, you listening? All right. Setting. Who remembers what a setting is? Tell me what a setting is. Raise your hand if you can tell me. Dylan, do you remember what a setting is? Sit down on your bottom, Luke. If I say, what is the setting of this book? What am I talking about? Setting.
The author.
No, the author is the person who wrote the book. Amanda, what's the setting? Alyssa, listen. Where it takes place. Where would you say this story took place, Sam? Where would you say the setting was of this story, Samantha? Look at
The house outside.
Excuse me, Sam? Sam, look at the book. Where would you, it'll help remind you.
In a town.
In a town. Very good. I like that. In a town. It starts out where?
From the house into
Starts out in whose house?
Gracie.
Starts out in Gracie's house and then goes through a town. In a town. I like that. In a town. Now the characters. The characters. Luke, who are the characters in this book? Just wait 1 minute. Who are the characters? Cherie?
Gracie.
Gracie, the main character. I like Gracie. Grace, who's another character in this book? The painters. Okay. Those are the main characters. Good. Because the painters are the ones who made the noise that made Gracie want to leave. And then there were some others that followed Gracie. Okay, can you name some of the others who followed Gracie? Clayton, who followed Gracie?
The dog.
The dog?
The cat.
The cat?
And the people.
The paper boy? Okay. Were they main characters? Were they important characters? So we don't have to put them all up there, do we? Okay. All right, let's talk about the story now. What happened at the beginning of the story, Riley? What happened at the beginning of the Great Gracie Chase? I love the way Cherie's raising her hands every time I ask the question.
It was in my house into the paper game.
Very good. Gracie was being very quiet in her house. Then the painters came.
Until the painters.
Oh, until? Okay, I can write that. Let's take that away. Until the painters came. Okay, now think of the middle of the story. What happened in the middle of the story? Cherie?
In the middle, a lot of people was chasing him.
Okay, so what Gracie was running and
And a lot of people was chasing him.
okay, Gracie was running through the town. You told me it took place in a town. Okay, we're up to the end. What happens at the end of this story? Michael, what happened at the end of the story? How did the story end? Good. Say it again and say it really loud so we all can hear you.
back to
Gracie went back home. Why did she go back home?
There was no
Cherie, why did she go back home?
Because they were gone.
Were they gone? They were still chasing her, but they were what?
Tired.
They were very tired and they got very what?
Sleeping.
And they were taking a rest and they got very... Something Gracie likes.
Quiet.
They got very quiet. So things got very quiet, so Gracie went home. All right, Gracie went home.
Got home.
Well, I'm going to put went, okay? Gracie went home because everyone got quiet. Okay. Good. All right, so we have our beginning, our middle, and our end. What was the problem in this story? What was the problem, Amanda?
Gracie was the pain is coming and then Gracie was.
Yes. And when was it solved? It was solved at the end of the story because things got what? Quiet. I'm kind of like Gracie. I like things to get quiet sometimes. Thank you.